The old dining hall of Silver Maple Retirement Home buzzed with polite laughter and the clinking of silverware. Balloons swayed against the ceiling fans, and a local jazz trio played a mellow tune. It was a small-town fundraiser, the kind where everyone knew each other's names, except the nurses moving quietly through the crowd. Maya Brooks balanced a tray of lemonade glasses, weaving between tables. She had learned how to disappear in plain sight. Eyes down, smile steady, voice soft. Working double shifts had become her rhythm, the way bills got paid and dreams stayed alive. At the far table sat Evelyn Reed, the widow everyone in town whispered about. Once the proud owner of the paper mill that fed half the county, now she was just another resident with a fading memory and a closet full of regrets. Her son Daniel hovered nearby, greeting donors like he was still campaigning for a life that never quite happened. When the microphone squealed, Maya flinched. The jazz stopped. A volunteer stepped up to thank sponsors, then asked for a moment of silence for families who had lost loved ones this year. The room grew still. Someone dropped a fork. A chair creaked. And in that hush, as the volunteer struggled to find her words, Maya's instinct filled the silence. Almost without realizing it, she began to hum, a low, trembling lullaby she used to sing to calm restless patients at night. The melody floated through the room like warm light through dust. Every head turned. At Evelyn's table, something inside the old woman cracked open. Her hand trembled. The glass of water tipped, spilling across the white linen, but she didn't notice. Her eyes widened in shock, fixed on the nurse by the buffet. That song. Her breath hitched. "No," she whispered, so faint that only Daniel heard. But when Maya turned, confused, cheeks flushing under so many stares, Evelyn pushed back her chair with a screech loud enough to stop every conversation. People rose halfway from their seats, unsure whether to help or step back. Evelyn's frail body moved faster than it had in years. She reached Maya, grabbed her wrist, and before anyone could react, pulled her into a trembling embrace. The tray clattered to the floor. Lemonade splashed across Maya's shoes. She froze, stunned, her heart hammering in her chest. Evelyn's voice broke against her shoulder. "That lullaby! Where did you learn that song?" Daniel hurried forward, embarrassed and furious. "Mother, please, let her go!" But Evelyn held tighter, tears streaking her powdered cheeks. "That voice, I would know it anywhere." Maya gently tried to steady her. "Mrs. Reed, maybe you've mistaken me for someone else." The room whispered like wind through dry leaves. Cameras lifted. A few donors pulled out their phones. Daniel snapped at the staff, his voice sharp. "She's a nurse, not entertainment. Someone get her manager." Maya stepped back, flustered. "I'm sorry, ma'am. I didn't mean." Evelyn's gaze never wavered. Her lips trembled around a name she hadn't spoken aloud in decades. Leah. The hall fell silent again. Even the ceiling fan seemed to pause. Maya blinked. "What did you call me?" Daniel's face turned red. "That's enough. Mother, you're confusing her with—" But Evelyn's knees buckled, and Maya instinctively caught her. The crowd gasped. Daniel shouted for help. The band stood frozen, horn still in hand. As the paramedic team rushed in from the next room, Maya supported the trembling woman on her shoulder, guiding her gently toward the stretcher. Evelyn's hand clung to hers the whole way, refusing to let go. And, just before the doors closed behind them, Evelyn whispered, "You came back to me." Maya stood in the hallway, breathless, her palms still damp from the lemonade and the weight of something she didn't understand. She had no idea that this single melody, the one she had hummed 1,000 nights without thinking, was about to unravel the greatest secret the town had ever buried. But she didn't know yet that what came next would change everything. The ambulance lights faded into the distance, leaving behind a stunned silence. Inside the dining hall, guests whispered in small circles, their curiosity sharp as glass. Trays lay overturned, and the scent of spilled lemonade lingered in the air. Maya stood near the doorway, heart still racing. She had seen patients faint before. Low sugar, stress, dehydration. But this had felt different. The way Mrs. Reed had looked at her, as if she were someone from a dream, someone long lost. The director of the retirement home, Ms. Jensen, marched over with tight lips and a clipboard pressed against her chest. "Maya Brooks, in my office, now." Maya followed, her hands still trembling. Inside the small office, the hum of a ceiling fan filled the pause. Jensen sat behind her desk, eyes cold and professional. What on earth happened out there? Maya swallowed hard. "Mrs. Reed got dizzy. I tried to help her. You sang, in front of donors." Jensen leaned forward. This was a charity event, not a concert. And then she clung to you like you were family. Do you realize how that looked? Maya blinked, hurt flashing across her face. I wasn't performing. It was a reflex. The room went quiet and I just hummed. Well, next time, resist your reflex. Mr. Reed is furious. He says you upset his mother. I have to file an incident report, and until we sort this out, you're off the evening shift. The words hit her like a slap. Suspended? Temporarily, Jensen said, avoiding her eyes. Go home. We'll call you. Maya nodded slowly, holding back the sting behind her eyes. She stepped out of the office, past the reception desk where two orderlies were already whispering. Their eyes followed her down the hall. She kept walking. At the far end of the corridor, a familiar voice stopped her. Miss Brooks! She turned. Daniel Reed stood there, his suit jacket off, sleeves rolled up, frustration etched across his face. Mr. Reed, she said carefully. He crossed his arms. I don't know what kind of game you're playing, but my mother is fragile. The last thing she needs is a stranger feeding her delusions. I didn't do anything, Maya replied, steady but trembling. She called me by another name. I was as shocked as you were. Daniel's tone hardened. That song, you sang it to her on purpose, didn't you? Some sentimental trick? Her brows knit. No, I don't even know what song it was. I just hummed. He took a step closer, lowering his voice. Listen, I've seen this before. Young staff get too close to wealthy patients, start believing they matter more than they do because, let me make this simple. Stay away from my mother. The words cut deeper than she expected. You think I want anything from her? I think, he said, adjusting his cufflinks, you've already gotten too much attention, and I don't want to see my mother cry because of some fantasy you put in her head. He turned and walked away, his polished shoes clicking against the linoleum. Maya stood there, heat rising in her chest, her hands clenched, not from anger but from something deeper, shame, confusion, the ache of being misunderstood again. She'd fought all her life to prove she belonged somewhere, to be seen for her work, not her past. And now, one act of kindness had turned her into a scandal. Outside, the spring rain had started again, tapping against the windows in soft rhythm. Maya stepped into the staff locker room, pulled off her name badge, and sat on the bench, staring at the floor. Her phone buzzed. A message from Tessa, her best friend and roommate. Heard something happened at work. You okay? Maya typed back. I don't know. I think I just lost my job. She hesitated, then added another line. And there's something about that woman. She looked at me like she knew me. Tessa's reply came fast. You always end up where you're meant to be, girl. Maybe this isn't the end. Maybe it's the start of something you need to know. Maya stared at the screen, the words echoing in her mind. She had no way of knowing how true they would soon become. Because in the hospital room across town, as Evelyn Reed slowly opened her eyes, the first thing she whispered wasn't her son's name. It was Maya's. And the nurses nearby heard her say it like a prayer, as if she were calling her daughter home. The next morning, light slipped through the thin curtains of Maya's small apartment. The hum of traffic mixed with the faint dripping from a leaky faucet in the kitchen. She sat on the couch, still in her scrubs, replaying the night in her mind. The music, the crowd, the old woman's trembling hands. Her phone lit up again, a new message from the retirement home. You're scheduled for review Friday morning. Do not return to the premises until then. Her stomach dropped. One mistake, and it felt like her whole world had shifted. She stared at the message until the words blurred, then shut off her phone. Across the table, her roommate Tessa poured 2 mugs of coffee. You didn't sleep again, did you? Maya shook her head. Every time I close my eyes, I hear that song. The way she said my name, or that name. Leah. It's stuck in my head. Tessa sat beside her. Maybe she lost someone who looked like you. You know how memory plays tricks. Maybe. Maya traced the rim of her mug, her voice quieter. But it didn't feel like confusion. It felt like she knew me. Rain began to tap against the window, the same soft rhythm from the night before. Maya pulled her knees close, resting her chin on them. I've been through a lot of weird things in foster homes, but nothing like this. When she touched me, it didn't feel like a stranger. Tessa leaned back. You're curious, aren't you? Maya looked up. I just want to understand why she reacted that way. That's all. Then go see her, Tessa said simply. Maya hesitated. Daniel Reed practically threatened me. If he finds me anywhere near his mother, I'll lose my license. Sometimes, Tessa said, the truth's worth a little trouble. That afternoon, Maya couldn't resist. She drove across town to the hospital where Evelyn had been admitted overnight. The receptionist recognized her uniform and waved her through. In room 12, Evelyn Reed lay asleep beneath a pale blue blanket, the steady beep of the heart monitor filling the space. She looked smaller now, fragile, human. Maya stood by the door ready to leave when Evelyn stirred. "Maya," her voice was barely a whisper. Maya froze. "Mrs. Reed, you should rest." Evelyn smiled weakly. "I'm not mistaken, you know. That song, it was mine once. I used to hum it to a little girl." Maya felt her pulse quicken. "Your daughter?" Evelyn's eyes softened, watery and distant. "She was only a few months old. Then one day, she was gone. Everyone told me to forget, that she didn't make it. But when you sang that tune last night, every part of me remembered." Maya didn't know what to say. The woman's words cut straight through her, past logic, past the years. Evelyn reached out her hand. "Please, sit with me for a minute." Maya hesitated, then pulled up a chair. The room smelled faintly of lavender soap and antiseptic. Evelyn's hand was light as paper when it rested over hers. "Where did you learn that lullaby?" the old woman asked. "I don't know," Maya admitted. "I've been humming it since I was a kid. Nobody taught it to me. It just stayed." Evelyn's eyes glistened. It stayed because it was meant to. The words hit something deep in Maya, something she couldn't name. She forced a smile, though her throat ached. "You should get some rest. I should go before—" The door opened sharply. Daniel stepped in carrying a folder. His expression darkened when he saw Maya sitting by the bed. "What are you doing here?" he demanded. "I just came to check on her," Maya said quickly. "She asked me to stay." "She's confused," Daniel snapped. "You shouldn't encourage it." Evelyn's tone turned firm, her voice stronger than before. "Daniel, stop talking to her like that." He blinked, surprised. "Mother, she's staff. You don't know this woman." Evelyn looked straight at him. "Maybe I do." The air went still. Daniel's jaw tightened, but he didn't answer. He turned to Maya. "Leave, please." Maya rose slowly. "If she needs anything, I'll be on call." Daniel didn't respond. He stood by the bed staring at the woman who was once unshakable, now defending a stranger. Outside, Maya stepped into the corridor, heart pounding. Her reflection in the glass wall looked like someone else, a version of herself she didn't recognize yet. She didn't see Daniel watching her through the window, suspicion darkening his face. And she didn't know that later that night, he would make a call that would set everything in motion, one that might uncover more than either of them was ready to face. Because before the week was over, the lullaby would no longer be just a song. It would become the key to a secret buried for almost 30 years. 2 days later, Maya received a message from an unknown number. "Mrs. Reed requests your presence at Silver Maple this afternoon. Private matter." Her first thought was that it must be a mistake. She had been suspended after all. Still, something in her chest told her to go. By the time she reached the nursing home, the sky was heavy with gray clouds. Inside, the halls felt quieter than usual. The smell of disinfectant mixed with coffee brewing somewhere down the corridor. When Maya entered Evelyn's room, the older woman was sitting upright by the window, wrapped in a soft cream shawl. A wooden box rested on her lap. "Maya," she said, her voice gentle but steady. "Close the door, please." Maya obeyed, unsure. "Mrs. Reed, are you feeling better?" Evelyn nodded faintly. "Better than they want me to be." She looked down at the box. "I kept this for a long time, but today I think it's time to open it." Maya hesitated. "Should I call your son?" "No," Evelyn said quickly, a flash of steel in her eyes. "He would only take it away again." That word, again, hung heavy between them. Evelyn lifted the lid. Inside lay a small cassette tape, a faded baby photo, and a silver charm shaped like a moon with tiny initials scratched on the back. Maya stepped closer, drawn to it. "It's beautiful." "It belonged to a child," Evelyn whispered. "My child." She picked up the tape, her fingers trembling. "I recorded myself singing a lullaby the night before she was taken from me. The same song you hummed that night." Maya's breath caught. "You think I'm—" "I don't know what I think," Evelyn said softly. "All I know is that when you walked into that hall, I felt the same ache I've carried for 30 years shift inside me." The door burst open. Daniel stood there, face tight with anger. "What's going on here?" Evelyn flinched, but didn't hide the box. "I asked her to come." "You shouldn't be doing this," Daniel snapped. "You're not well, Mother." "I'm not senile, Daniel." Evelyn's voice rose, trembling with fury. "You think locking memories in a box makes them disappear? It doesn't." He stepped forward and grabbed the cassette from her hand. "Enough of this fantasy. You're confusing a nurse with your past." "Give it back," she demanded. But Daniel only looked at Maya, his eyes sharp with accusation. "You put this idea in her head, didn't you? You dug up old stories to make her trust you." Maya shook her head, voice breaking. "I didn't even know she had this." "Of course you didn't," he said coldly. "But you'll take advantage of it, won't you? A lonely woman, a forgotten fortune." "Stop!" Evelyn's cry cut through him. She struggled to her feet, anger and grief blending in her face. "Do you really think money is all anyone could want from me?" Daniel froze. The staff passing by in the hallway stopped, uncertain. Maya took a step back, her eyes flicking between them. Evelyn reached into the box again and pulled out the small photo. It showed a baby girl wrapped in a pink blanket, a faint birthmark on her shoulder, shaped like a teardrop. Maya stared at it, speechless. She'd seen that mark before, in the mirror, every day of her life. Her heart skipped a beat. "Where did you get this?" Evelyn's voice was barely audible. "From the hospital. They said she was gone, but I couldn't make myself throw it away." Daniel frowned, confused. "Mother, please, this is madness." Maya couldn't look away from the photo. Her skin prickled, her pulse racing. "That mark, I have it." Daniel blinked. "What are you talking about?" Maya lifted the edge of her sleeve, revealing a small reddish spot near her shoulder blade. Evelyn gasped, tears spilling instantly. Her hand covered her mouth. Daniel stood frozen, the color draining from his face. For a moment, none of them moved. The rain outside began to fall harder, tapping against the window pane like a heartbeat. Evelyn reached out, her voice shaking. "It's you," Maya whispered. "Mrs. Reed." But Evelyn interrupted, her tears turning into quiet sobs. "Leah." Daniel stepped forward, his voice tight with panic. "Mother, don't do this to yourself. You're going to get hurt." But Evelyn wasn't listening. She clutched Maya's hands with surprising strength. "I don't care what anyone says. That birthmark, that song, no one could fake those." Maya's eyes filled, torn between disbelief and a pull she couldn't explain. Daniel slammed the box shut, his composure cracking. "Enough! I'll handle this." He stormed out of the room, the echo of his shoes fading down the corridor. Evelyn sank back into her chair, exhausted, still holding Maya's fingers. "He's scared," she said softly. "He knows the truth will break everything we've built." Maya looked down at their joined hands, trembling. "I don't know what this means." Evelyn smiled faintly through tears. "It means the past is finally knocking." Outside, thunder rolled in the distance. Maya glanced at the window. The rain was falling faster now, like the world itself was trying to wash something clean. She didn't know it yet, but that small wooden box was about to open doors neither of them could close again. And, before the night was over, the secrets inside it would begin to stir. The storm that night carried on for hours, sheets of rain hammering the city until the streets gleamed like mirrors. Maya sat at her kitchen table, the wooden box open before her. The cassette tape lay in her palm, old, cracked along one edge, its label faded to the color of tea. She had replayed the afternoon 100 times in her head. Evelyn's trembling voice, the photo, the mark on her shoulder, Daniel's rage. Every detail pulsed like a heartbeat she couldn't quiet. Across from her, Tessa leaned forward, wide-eyed. "You're saying the old woman called you her daughter?" Maya nodded slowly. "She believes it. I don't know what to believe." Tessa reached for the tape. "Do you have anything that can play this?" Maya hesitated, then dug through a drawer. Her foster mother, Mrs. Carter, had kept an old cassette player from the 90s, used for bedtime stories. Somehow, Maya had never thrown it away. She set it on the table, pressed the power button, and slid the tape in. The machine whirred, clicked, then hissed. For a few seconds, there was only static. Then a woman's voice broke through, soft and warm, humming the same lullaby Maya had sung that night in the dining hall. The melody filled the small apartment, fragile but hauntingly familiar. Tessa covered her mouth. "That's your song." Maya's chest tightened. The woman on the tape began to speak. "For my little Leah, wherever you are, may this song find you. Someday, when you hear it, you'll know, Mommy never stopped waiting." Maya froze, her throat ached. The air in the room felt thinner. "That can't be," she whispered. Tessa leaned in closer. "Maya, that's her voice. Evelyn's, only younger." Tears welled before Maya could stop them. The sound was too intimate, too personal, like a memory she'd lost before she was even old enough to keep it. She pressed her hands to her face, the song looping in the background. After a long silence, Tessa whispered, "You need to know if this is real. There must be hospital records, something from when you were born." Maya wiped her eyes. "I've checked before. My file starts at 2 months old. Nothing before that. Just a note. Found at St. Augustine's Children's Center. That's it." Tessa frowned. "And what about your birthmark? The timing? The song?" "Maya, these aren't coincidences." Maya looked at the box again, at the faded handwriting inside the lid. Beneath the lining was a tiny note written in blue ink. "For her 12th birthday. Our secret." The handwriting was delicate, looping. She had seen it once before in a file Mrs. Carter had kept. Her pulse quickened. "Wait, I've seen this handwriting." "Where?" "In one of my foster documents. There was a note from a social worker who handled my placement. Her name was Helen Price." Tessa's eyes widened. "You think she knows something?" "I think she knows everything," Maya said quietly. She grabbed her coat and keys. "I'm going to find her." Tessa stood. "Now, it's late. I can't sleep until I do." Helen Price lived in a small brick house on the edge of town, her porch lit by a single yellow bulb. Maya knocked once, then again. After a moment, the door creaked open. An elderly woman peered out, her gray hair pulled back, her expression wary. "Yes?" "I'm sorry to bother you," Maya began, "but my name is Maya Brooks. You worked at St. Augustine's years ago. You handled my adoption." Helen's hand tightened on the doorframe. "Why are you asking about that?" Maya held up the photo of the baby with the birthmark. "Do you remember this child?" Helen's eyes flickered to the picture. Her breath caught, and for a split second, something in her face cracked. The careful mask of someone who had kept a secret too long. "Come in," she whispered. Inside, the house smelled faintly of cinnamon and old paper. Shelves lined the walls, filled with dusty binders and framed certificates. Helen gestured to a chair but didn't sit. "I wondered when someone would come." "You know who I am," Maya said softly. Helen nodded. "I always did." Maya's heart pounded. "Then why didn't you tell me?" The older woman's eyes filled with regret. "Because I was told not to. Your case was marked sealed by a private order. I was young then, just following rules. But the night you were brought in, it didn't feel right. They said your mother died during childbirth, but the baby they carried in wasn't sick. She was perfect." Maya's throat closed. "So what happened?" Helen looked toward the small cabinet by the wall, hesitating. "There's something I kept, something I couldn't destroy." She opened the drawer and pulled out a cassette identical to the one Maya had played. The label read only one word: backup. Helen set it gently on the table. "I kept a copy. I didn't know who she was then, only that her name was Evelyn Reed. She came to me crying, said her baby was gone, that the hospital told her the child didn't survive. But she didn't believe them." Maya leaned forward, gripping the edge of the chair. "You mean someone lied?" Helen nodded, tears forming. "And they paid a lot to make sure no one ever asked questions." Maya sat there frozen, the two tapes on the table between them, proof that something terrible had happened, something bigger than either of them could yet see. Outside, thunder rolled again, shaking the window panes. Helen whispered, "There's more you need to know. Someone else came looking for that baby years ago. A man who said he was part of the Reed family." Maya looked up sharply. "Daniel?" Helen shook her head. "No, his father." The words sank like stones in the silence. Maya didn't move, her fingers trembling around the tape. The air in the room seemed to shift, heavy with truth and danger waiting to surface. And she didn't realize it yet, but the voice on that tape was only the beginning of what had been stolen from her. The following morning, the world felt different, quieter, heavier, like it was holding its breath. Maya hadn't slept. Every time she closed her eyes, she heard that voice from the tape again. "Wherever you are, may this song find you." Helen's living room was still dim, a single lamp casting a warm glow over stacks of old files. The older woman sat opposite her, hands clasped tight, as if steadying herself before saying what she had kept hidden for decades. "I worked at St. Augustine's for almost 30 years, Helen began. "But there's one night I never forgot. The night they brought you in." Maya leaned forward. "What happened?" "It was raining, just like tonight," Helen said, eyes distant. "They told me a baby girl had been left outside the hospital doors, wrapped in a pink blanket, wearing a silver charm around her neck. She wasn't crying, just, watching, like she already knew the world. Maya's pulse quickened. That charm, it was shaped like a moon. Helen nodded. Yes, and when I filled out the intake report, I noticed something odd. The paperwork said the infant was approximately 2 months old, but her birth weight and growth chart didn't match. She was younger. Younger. Days old, maybe. Maya frowned. Could that be a mistake? Helen exhaled, a bitter laugh escaping. That's what I told myself for years, until a few months later when a man came to see me. He said his name was Mr. Reed. He offered money for information about a baby girl found near that hospital. Maya froze. Evelyn's husband? Helen hesitated. I didn't know then, but he was desperate. He said his wife was falling apart after losing their daughter, and he just wanted peace. He asked if any babies had been admitted around the same time. I told him the files were sealed. He left, but the next week, my supervisor ordered me to destroy several records. Her voice cracked. I couldn't do it, so I tore one page out of your file and hid it. She opened a worn folder on the coffee table and pulled out a single yellowed sheet. The edges were curled, the ink faded but still legible. At the top, typed in careful letters, it read, Patient, female infant, unknown, admitted June 14th. Notes, prior record merged under private request. Underneath, in faint handwriting, was a signature, C. Reed. Maya's heart skipped. That's Daniel's father. Helen nodded. He authorized the merge. That's not something a grieving father should have had access to. He was a donor, a major funder of the hospital. He had power. So he hid it? Maya whispered. Or paid someone to, Helen said softly. After that, your case disappeared from the system. The next thing I knew, you were placed under state care. No family name, no trace of where you came from. Maya stared at the page, her chest tightening. All the nights she'd spent wondering why no one had wanted her. Suddenly they had an answer, and it burned. Helen watched her carefully. When I realized who your employer was, I wanted to reach out. But by then, too much time had passed. And people like the Reeds, they don't like ghosts from the past. Maya swallowed hard. Do you think he did it to protect someone? Helen's eyes flicked toward the window, where rain streaked the glass like thin silver threads. I think he did it to protect himself. Or maybe someone else who stood to lose everything if the truth came out. The words hung in the air like a weight. Maya folded the page carefully and slipped it into her jacket. I have to show this to Evelyn. Helen nodded. Be careful. Secrets this old don't stay buried without reason. As Maya stepped outside, the rain had softened to a drizzle. The world smelled like wet earth and rust. Her hand shook as she unlocked her car. She drove through empty streets, headlights slicing through mist. Her mind raced. Images of Evelyn's face, Daniel's anger, that haunting voice on the tape. By the time she reached the nursing home, dawn was breaking. The air was pale and cold, and the building loomed against the fading clouds like something half asleep. Inside, the receptionist looked startled to see her. Ms. Brooks, you're not on schedule today. I know, Maya said, but Mrs. Reed asked for me. The woman hesitated, then nodded. She's been awake most of the night. Keeps asking for someone named Leah. Maya's throat tightened. Thank you. She walked down the hall, the folded page heavy in her pocket. When she entered Evelyn's room, the old woman was sitting by the window again, staring at the gray horizon. Her eyes lit up when she saw her. Maya, she breathed, relief softening her face. I didn't think you'd come back. I had to, Maya said quietly. There's something you need to see. She placed the page on the table beside the box. Evelyn reached for it, her fingers trembling as she read. When she saw the signature, her hand flew to her mouth. My husband, she whispered. He promised me our baby didn't survive. Maya's voice was gentle. He signed to have the records hidden. Tears filled Evelyn's eyes. He lied to me. He buried her, and he buried the truth. For a moment, neither spoke. Outside, a soft wind rattled the window. Maya finally said, You deserve to know. We both did. Evelyn looked up at her, grief and wonder blending in her eyes. If he hid you, then someone helped him. Someone at the hospital. Maya nodded slowly. And I'm going to find out who. Evelyn took her hand again, holding it tight, her voice steady despite the tremor in it. Then you won't do it alone. Their hands stayed clasped as the first sunlight broke through the clouds, painting the room in faint gold. But just outside the door, in the dim hallway, a shadow lingered, a figure who had been listening. Daniel. His face was pale, his expression unreadable. And As he turned away without a word, Maya didn't see the look in his eyes. Shock, mixed with something colder. Because the truth she had just uncovered wasn't the only secret his family was hiding. The next evening, the air inside Silver Maple felt thick, heavy with the kind of silence that comes after a storm but before another begins. Evelyn hadn't eaten. She sat in her chair, staring at the folded page Maya had brought, the signature still visible under the soft lamplight. Maya stood by the window, restless. She had told herself to be patient, to let the truth settle, but the questions only grew louder. "He knew," she said quietly. "Your husband knew what happened and hid it from you." Evelyn's voice came out low, trembling but sure. "Charles always cared more about reputation than about people. When she disappeared, he made it clear. 'No one can know,' he said. I thought he meant grief. I didn't realize he meant a secret." Maya's heart squeezed. "Did he ever tell you why?" Evelyn looked up, her eyes glassy. "He said there had been complications, that she didn't survive the birth. I begged him to let me see her one last time, but he refused. The doctors agreed with him. And then there was a funeral, a tiny coffin, and I convinced myself there was a body inside." She drew a long, shaking breath. "But I never saw her face." Maya turned away, blinking back tears. "I spent my whole life thinking I didn't belong anywhere. And all this time you thought your child was gone." Evelyn's hand reached out, fragile but firm. "Maybe fate gave us another chance." Before Maya could answer, the door opened. Daniel stepped inside without knocking. His expression was calm, too calm. "Mother," he said softly, "but can we talk?" Evelyn's shoulders tensed. If this is about Maya, then no. He smiled faintly, closing the door behind him. "It's not about her, it's about Father." Maya turned. "What about him?" Daniel walked to the window, hands clasped behind his back. "You think he hid the truth alone? That he acted out of cruelty?" He glanced at Evelyn. "You always blamed him for everything, didn't you?" Evelyn frowned. "Daniel..." "No, let me finish," he said, his voice sharpening. "You made him into a villain so you wouldn't have to face your own choices. You think you're the only one who lost someone? You're not." His words hit the air like stones. Maya stepped forward, confused. "What are you talking about?" Daniel turned toward her, his jaw tight. "You want the truth? Fine. My father didn't lie to protect himself. He lied to protect you, Mother." Evelyn froze. "What?" Daniel's tone softened, but his eyes stayed hard. "You were the one who gave that baby up. He just made sure no one could find out. He buried it for you." The room went still. Even the ticking clock on the wall seemed to pause. "That's not true," Evelyn whispered. "I wanted her. I wanted to keep her." Daniel laughed once, bitter and hollow. "Then why is there a signed release form with your name on it? I found it years ago in Father's files. Voluntary adoption, private record sealed. He told me to burn it. I didn't." Evelyn shook her head, voice cracking. "He tricked me. He said it was for medical consent. I was too weak, too broken to read it." Daniel didn't answer. The silence stretched, full of disbelief and hurt. Maya looked between them, her heart racing. "Are you saying your father made her sign away her own child?" Evelyn's hands trembled. "He said I wasn't stable, that I would ruin the family. He promised she'd go to someone safe until I recovered." Her voice broke, but she never came back. Daniel's anger faltered, replaced by something like regret. He thought he was saving us all from scandal. I didn't know she might still be alive." Maya's throat tightened. "You knew something was wrong, and you stayed quiet?" Daniel looked at her, guilt flickering in his eyes. "What was I supposed to do? Dig up a grave? Accuse my own father?" Evelyn's voice cut through him, low but fierce. "You were supposed to tell me." Daniel didn't reply. He turned away, staring out the window as if searching for words that would make the weight in the room lighter. But there were none. Maya finally spoke, steady but trembling. "Maybe your father tried to bury the past, but it's not buried anymore, and you can't protect a lie that long without it eating you alive." Daniel's shoulders sank. "You think I don't know that?" Evelyn reached for him. "Daniel, I don't want to lose you too." He turned to her, eyes glassy but defiant. "You already did, Mother. A long time ago." He walked out before either of them could speak. The door clicked softly behind him, but the sound echoed like thunder. Evelyn sat back down, the strength draining from her face. "He's his father's son," she murmured. Maya knelt beside her, taking her hand. "Maybe, but you're not alone anymore." Evelyn looked down at her, tears spilling freely now. "Then help me find the rest of the truth." "I will," Maya promised. Outside, rain began again, steady and cold against the windows. Neither of them noticed the envelope Daniel had dropped near the doorway when he left. A plain white folder marked "Confidential." Inside, beneath layers of dust, was a hospital log with 2 signatures, Dr. Gerald Warren and Charles Reed. And beneath them, a single line typed in fading ink: "Infant transferred to private care per family request." The same night, Evelyn believed she buried her child. The storm had returned, fierce and unrelenting, rattling the windows of Silver Maple like a warning. Inside Evelyn's room, the air felt thick with anticipation. The envelope Daniel had dropped lay on the table, unopened. Neither Maya nor Evelyn had noticed it yet. Maya was pacing, her voice tight with determination. There has to be someone still alive who knows what happened at that hospital. A nurse, a doctor, someone who can tell us where I really came from. Evelyn rubbed her temples, exhaustion lining her face. If Charles paid people to keep quiet, then we'll need more than memories to prove it. Maya stopped pacing and turned toward the small wooden box on the dresser, the same one that had started everything. Maybe the proof has been here all along. She opened the box again, running her fingers along the inside. The wood was old, soft from years of handling. Then she felt something, an edge that didn't match the grain. She pressed gently and a small, false panel popped loose. Inside was a folded photograph. Evelyn frowned. "What is that?" Maya unfolded it carefully. The image was faded but clear enough. A hospital corridor, a man in a white coat handing a small bundle to another figure. The woman wore a red coat and a scarf covering most of her face. On the back, a date was scrawled in ink, June 14th. Evelyn's breath caught. "That's the night my baby was born." Maya stared at the photo. "Do you recognize them?" Evelyn squinted, shaking her head. "The man, maybe Dr. Warren. He was Charles's friend, but the woman..." Her voice trailed off, a chill crossing her face. Before she could speak again, the door opened. Daniel stood there, soaked from the rain, eyes dark and unreadable. Maya tensed. "You shouldn't be here." He stepped inside, holding a folder against his chest. "Neither should you." Evelyn rose from her chair. "Daniel, if you came to shout again..." He set the folder on the table, cutting her off. "No shouting, just facts." Maya looked at him warily. "What facts?" Daniel took a deep breath, the words heavy. "I went through Father's study last night. There were files from the hospital. Names, transfers, payments. I think I know who helped him." He opened the folder, revealing a list of transactions, each with the signature at the bottom. Dr. Gerald Warren, Helen Price, and one more name that made Maya's stomach twist. Margaret Lane. Evelyn frowned. "Who is that?" Maya swallowed. "She was the head nurse at St. Augustine's. She retired years ago. I remember her from when I was a kid. She used to visit the foster homes." Daniel nodded. "Father made several payments to her over 6 months after you were born. It wasn't charity money." Evelyn's voice trembled. "Then she's the one who knows everything." Maya met Daniel's eyes. "Where is she now?" Daniel hesitated. "I've found an address. Small town outside of Cleveland. I already called her. She said she's been expecting someone to come." Evelyn's hands shook. "Then we go. Tonight." Daniel blinked. "Mother, it's pouring. You're not well." "I've been sick for 30 years, she said firmly. "I can handle one more night." Maya grabbed her coat. "We'll drive." The road stretched long and empty, headlights slicing through sheets of rain. The car's wipers beat a frantic rhythm as they left the city behind. No one spoke for nearly an hour. Evelyn sat in the back seat, clutching the photograph like a lifeline. Daniel drove, his knuckles white on the wheel. Maya stared out the window, the reflection of her face merging with the dark trees rushing by. Finally, she spoke. "You said she was expecting someone. Did she sound afraid?" Daniel's voice was low, more tired than afraid, like she'd been carrying something too heavy for too long. When they reached the small farmhouse, the rain had softened to a drizzle. A single light glowed inside. Daniel parked the car and the three of them stepped out into the mud, their footsteps muffled. Maya knocked gently. After a pause, the door opened. A frail woman stood there, wrapped in a shawl, her eyes sharp despite her age. "You must be Evelyn Reed," she said softly. "And you must be her." Maya's breath caught. "Her?" The woman nodded. "The one they took." Evelyn's hand flew to her mouth. "So it's true." Margaret stepped aside. "Come in before someone sees you." Inside, the house was warm, filled with the scent of old wood and tea. Margaret gestured to the couch. "I've been waiting for this day for a long time. Your husband made sure everyone kept quiet, Mrs. Reed, but he wasn't the only one involved." Daniel frowned. "Who else?" Margaret's eyes fell on him. "You might want to sit down for this." Evelyn leaned forward. "Tell us everything." Margaret nodded slowly. 30 years ago, your baby was born healthy, but your husband panicked. He believed the timing would ruin him. Rumors about infidelity, scandal, questions about paternity. He asked Dr. Warren to arrange a private adoption, one that would disappear from records. The child was delivered to a nurse in the red coat. Maya's breath quickened. "Who was she?" Margaret hesitated, then whispered, "Your sister-in-law, Clara Reed." Evelyn's face went pale. "Clara?" She was supposed to deliver the baby to a family in another state, but something went wrong. She changed her mind at the last minute, left the baby at St. Augustine's, and vanished. Evelyn shook her head, tears filling her eyes. She was part of it, and he covered for her. Margaret nodded. "I wanted to tell you, but your husband threatened to ruin me. He said the truth would destroy the family. And maybe he was right." Daniel stood, his voice shaking. "She's my aunt. You're saying my father, my own family, abandoned my sister?" Margaret met his gaze. He believed he was protecting his name, not his child. Evelyn turned to Maya, her voice breaking. "You were never unwanted, Leah. You were hidden." Maya's eyes filled, but before she could speak, headlights flashed outside the window. A car door slammed. Daniel moved to the curtain, his face tightening. "Someone followed us." Margaret's voice dropped to a whisper. "Then you need to leave. Now." The front door creaked open, wind rushing in. A man's voice came from the porch, low and cold. "Going somewhere?" Maya's blood ran cold. She knew that voice. Dr. Gerald Warren stepped into the doorway, his eyes shadowed and wet from rain. "I warned you, Mrs. Reed," he said, his smile thin and chilling. "Some stories are better left buried." And in that instant, all three of them realized the past hadn't just found them. It had been following them all along. For a long second, no one moved. Rain dripped from Dr. Warren's coat, pooling on the wooden floor as thunder rolled somewhere far away. His expression was calm, but his eyes, those cold, calculating eyes, never left Evelyn. "Gerald," she whispered, her voice trembling. "You're alive." "Disappointed?" he asked, stepping farther inside. "I told Charles this day would come, but he believed his money could buy time forever." Daniel moved instinctively, placing himself between Warren and the women. "You need to leave. Now." Warren gave a faint, humorless smile. "I've spent 30 years keeping your family's secret. Do you think I came all this way to walk out?" Maya's heart was pounding. Every instinct told her to run, but something about the way Warren's gaze lingered on her made her stay still. "You were the doctor that night," she said quietly. "You helped take me." He didn't deny it. "I followed orders. Your father," he glanced at Evelyn, "and your uncle wanted a clean story. I made sure that's what they got." Evelyn's face tightened, pain flashing across it. "You told me she died. You stood in that hospital room and told me my baby was gone." Warren's jaw clenched. "Because that was the only version of the truth that would keep you alive." The room fell silent. Maya frowned. "What are you talking about?" He looked at her, his voice low and cold. "You think your father's lies were just about pride. He wasn't protecting his reputation. He was protecting you from the people he owed, men who don't forgive debt. You were collateral in a deal gone bad, and I made sure you disappeared before they could claim you." The words hit like a blow. Evelyn gripped the armrest of her chair, her voice cracking. "You're lying." "I wish I were," Warren said softly. "But your husband wasn't the man you thought he was. He borrowed millions to save the company, money from men who wanted leverage, and when they learned his wife had just given birth," he shrugged. "They saw opportunity." Maya felt sick. "So you hid me by abandoning me?" "It was the only way to erase your trail," Warren said. "The nurse in the red coat, Clara, she was supposed to take you out of state, but she panicked, left you at the hospital instead." Evelyn's tears fell freely now. "You could have told me. I would have protected her myself." Warren shook his head. "You couldn't protect anyone. You were broken, drugged, half-conscious. Charles begged me to do what was necessary." Daniel stepped forward, fury shaking his voice. "You ruined 3 lives to cover a deal my father made with criminals, and now you think that makes you some kind of savior." "I'm not proud of what I did," Warren said, "but I kept her alive." Maya's voice was quiet but sharp as glass. "You didn't keep me alive. You erased me. There's a difference." Outside, lightning flashed again, throwing shadows across the walls. Margaret, the retired nurse, stood frozen near the fireplace. "Gerald, if you came here to make peace, you should start by admitting what you did." Warren turned to her, his tone darkening. "You shouldn't have called them. You were supposed to stay quiet." "I'm done being quiet." Before he could respond, Daniel's phone buzzed. He glanced down, and his face drained of color. "There are cars outside," he said. "3 of them." Evelyn's breath hitched. "Who is it?" Warren's silence was the answer. Maya ran to the window. Headlights flickered through the rain. Figures moved toward the porch, dark shapes in the storm. Warren's voice dropped. "They found me. They've been watching ever since I left Florida." "You led them here?" Daniel shouted. "I didn't have a choice." Warren's voice cracked for the first time. "If I didn't bring them proof, they would have killed me." The pounding started, a fist slamming against the door. "Open up!" a voice barked from outside. "Now!" Evelyn grabbed Maya's hand. "We have to go through the back." Daniel nodded, moving fast. He helped his mother toward the kitchen as Margaret opened a side door leading into the yard. But Warren stayed where he was, staring at the door as the pounding grew louder. "It's too late," he said quietly. "They won't stop until they see her." Maya's pulse roared in her ears. "Then give them me," she said. "And this." Evelyn turned, horrified. "No, you're not doing that." Maya's voice trembled, but her eyes were steady. "If I don't, they'll kill everyone in this house." The door cracked open with a splintering sound. Wind and rain howled in. Daniel shouted, "Maya, go!" But she didn't move. Warren stepped forward, pulling something from his coat, a flash drive, small and worn. "This is everything," he said. "Names, payments, hospital logs, the truth. If you live, you make this public." He shoved it into Maya's hand. "And if I don't, make sure they never find it." Before she could answer, the door burst open. 3 men stormed in, faces hidden beneath hoods. One raised a gun. "Where's the girl?" Warren moved fast, faster than anyone expected. He lunged at the man, shouting, "Run!" The gun went off, a deafening crack. Warren fell. Maya screamed. Daniel grabbed her arm and pulled her toward the back door. Evelyn followed, sobbing, as thunder swallowed the sound of footsteps behind them. They ran through the rain, across the muddy field behind the farmhouse. The trees loomed ahead, dark and endless. Maya clutched the flash drive in her fist, her heart breaking, her lungs burning. Behind them, a second shot echoed, then silence. The storm raged on, but somewhere beyond the trees, the faint glow of a road appeared. One more chance to survive. Evelyn stumbled, gasping. Daniel lifted her up, his voice hoarse. "We're almost there." Maya turned once more toward the farmhouse, rain streaming down her face. The window glowed faintly through the darkness, and for a moment she thought she saw Warren's shadow still standing there. Then it flickered out. She whispered, "I won't let it end like this." And with that, she ran toward the road, clutching the truth that could finally bring everything, and everyone, to justice. But none of them knew. The most dangerous secret hadn't been revealed yet. The next morning broke soft and gray, the kind of dawn that carries both grief and relief in the same breath. Police cars surrounded the farmhouse now. The storm had passed, leaving the ground slick with mud and scattered debris. Maya stood wrapped in a blanket, staring at the wreckage of the night before. The broken door, the blood on the steps, the flash drive clutched tight in her palm. Detective Ruiz, the lead investigator, approached carefully. "You're lucky to be alive," he said. "Your story checks out. We've traced the payments, the hospital logs, even the shell companies. This goes deep." Maya nodded faintly. It was never about luck. It was about finally stopping the lies. Evelyn stood beside her, fragile but unbroken. Her silver hair clung to her damp cheeks, her hands trembling around a paper cup of coffee. "What happens now?" she asked quietly. Ruiz looked between them. "Now we tell the world." 2 weeks later, the headlines swept across the nation. Reed family scandal exposed. Decades of secrets unraveled. News anchors repeated the same words: illegal adoption, corruption, and cover-up. But to Maya, it wasn't about headlines. It was about truth, the kind that costs everything but sets you free. When the press cornered her outside the courthouse, microphones flashing, she didn't talk about money or inheritance. She spoke about children who vanish into systems, about mothers told lies, about how silence can wound deeper than violence. Her voice was calm, but every word carried fire. "My life was stolen," she said, "but I got it back, and I won't waste it." Months passed. The Reed Foundation, once a symbol of wealth, became a fund for hospital reform and child welfare, led by Evelyn and Maya together. The flash drive Warren died protecting became the core evidence in the federal case that followed. Several officials and executives faced charges. Daniel left the city quietly. He wrote a letter to Maya before he disappeared. "I can't undo what my father did, but maybe I can spend the rest of my life not becoming him." Evelyn kept that letter in a drawer beside her bed. She never stopped hoping he'd come back. One evening, under a warm orange sky, Maya stood at a small memorial outside Roosevelt Hospital, the place where her story began. Children laughed nearby. Nurses hurried past with tired smiles. Life kept moving, indifferent but beautiful. Evelyn joined her, resting a hand on her arm. "You look like her," she said softly. Maya smiled. "You mean my mother?" Evelyn nodded. She had that same look, like she could survive anything. They stood there for a while in silence. Then Maya pulled something from her pocket. The silver necklace, now restored, the crescent moon gleaming against her skin. "I used to think this necklace was a reminder of what I lost," she said. "Now I see it's proof that love never really disappears, it just finds its way back." Evelyn smiled through tears. "And now that you've found it, what will you do?" Maya looked up at the city lights flickering awake. "Help others find theirs." That night, Maya returned to her apartment. Small, simple, but her own. She opened her laptop and began writing. A memoir maybe, or a testimony. She didn't know what to call it yet. She typed the first line slowly. "The truth isn't buried, it's waiting." Outside, the rain began again, but softer this time, like a lullaby instead of a warning. And somewhere deep down, Maya felt peace for the first time in her life. Because justice had come, not in noise or fury, but in quiet, undeniable truth. Do you believe that truth always finds its way home, even after decades of silence? Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again in the next story, only on Power and Karma.